Hello, everyone. Well, before we talk about the severe weather threat, we've got to talk about temperatures because, man, is it going to be a hot afternoon in eastern Nebraska. Look at what we're expecting for high temperatures this afternoon. 97 in Omaha, 96 in Lincoln, 95 in Columbus, and yes, it's going to be humid as well. As you go to the west, it will get a little bit better because storms are going to start in the central part of the state earlier, and so there'll be some rain-cooled air around to limit the warm-up. So we're looking at highs mainly in the upper 80s to low 90s. But when you get on the cool side of the cold front, man, what a difference. Scottsbluff, how about a high of just 68 today, about 30 degrees colder we're going to see in Omaha this afternoon. Now, one thing that's going to help the hot temperatures out is it is going to be windy this afternoon, no matter where you are in the state. We're talking about gusts 40 to 45 miles per hour. But when it's that windy, that hot air blasting in the face, not too pleasant. And I do think that we're going to see some wind gusts much stronger than just 40 to 45 miles per hour when the storms fire up. So when is that going to be? 8 a.m. this morning? Absolutely not. Most are going to be dry, maybe a stray shower out in the panhandle, but that's it. And we've got to start paying attention to the weather. Is going to be 1 o'clock this afternoon. That's right now when it looks like the storms are going to start to fire up somewhere around North Platte and McCook. Then they're going to be pushing to the east, and they're going to be gaining strength. And so by the time we jump to 4 o'clock this afternoon, we're talking about a line of storms producing heavy rain and lightning, and yes, the possibility of damaging wind and hail as well. At 4 o'clock, most likely somewhere around Kearney and Grand Island. They will continue to push to the east. By 7 o'clock, most likely over the Columbus area. But after 7 o'clock, a little bit of uncertainty. Still a little bit of variation in the models. One of the trends that we're seeing, that's why I'm showing this model, is there's some hints that this line could slow down temporarily. So look what happens when we go from 7 o'clock this evening to 10 o'clock. Notice how the southern part of the line does not move very much. It may not be until 10 o'clock that this line of storm starts to push into the Lincoln area, and maybe it's still completely dry in Omaha. Now, not all the models are doing this, so I still want to mention the chance that the storms could be rolling into Omaha around 10 o'clock, and that would increase the severe threat. So the later the storms arrive in Lincoln and Omaha, the less likely they're going to be severe, and the more likely it's just going to be some heavy rain and lightning. The earlier they arrive, the more likely we could be talking about some hail and some damaging wind gusts. So that's something we're going to watch during the evening hours, is how fast does this line move. Now, regardless of whether the line is still right over Lincoln and Omaha at 1 a.m., or if it's east of the area, by then temperatures will have cooled down so much that I'm not worried about severe storms anymore. If there are storms around, they're just going to be regular thunderstorms. No more damaging wind and hail. So with that said, where's the severe threat the greatest this afternoon and evening? Well, there's a chance of severe storms for the entire eastern half of the state, as I showed you, where these storms are going to be moving over. So anywhere east of North Platte, there's a chance of severe weather. But what I want to focus in on is that shade of brown. That's the enhanced risk, the level 3 out of 5. That's where the threat is the greatest. Although I will say, notice that Omaha, Lincoln, Kearney, you're on the edge of the enhanced risk. Look who's in the center of the enhanced risk. Grand Island, Columbus. If we're going to see severe storms this afternoon and this evening, it's most likely in the heart of this enhanced risk. So Grand Island, Columbus have the greatest threat if I had to pick a couple of locations. But everybody maybe needs to be on guard in eastern Nebraska for some severe storms this afternoon and this evening. So what's the worst case scenario? Well, I do think there could be a couple spots to see wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. I think the strong winds are going to be what's most widespread. In fact, I think there are a lot of places that end up seeing wind gusts 50, 60 miles per hour. And again, a few places could see up to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Hail. Worst case, a couple spots could see golf ball size hail. Likely going to be smaller than that. More penny, quarter size hail, that'll be more common, but I'm not going to rule out some golf ball size hail. The chance for a tornado, very small, but not zero. If we do see a tornado spin up, it'll be an EF0 or EF1, and I'm certainly not going to rule that out, but the chance is very low. Also want to mention the chance for flooding as well, especially if those storms slow down between 7 and 10 o'clock. If that happens, storms stay in one spot too long, especially a low-lying, poorly drained location, we could see up to 2 inches of rain, and that could lead to a few flooded roads. So the big takeaway this afternoon and this evening, stay weather aware and look for additional updates on the severe weather threat.